So information intake control is our topic today. And as you know, this is going to be more and more important as we go into uh, full-fledged application of AI and enormous data is generated. In China, for example, all this data is kind of uh, always monitored and used sometimes to suppress the population, right? That the danger is there, and we are kind of, bracing ourselves to see that people are going to be much more responsible, much more uh, prudent about how to use the data. But here we are talking about information intake control. Can we not missing out, not, but there are some people who continuously allow their minds to be ruled by the information, and they start in the morning and they don't end late in the night. Again, the moment you get up, you not only you are allowing the new information coming from outside, you kind of recycle or regenerate all the information that is piled up in your memory, recent memories, right? So what I am suggesting is use the information, then learn to purge it as movement goes. So the way that further is just to stay in the present moment awareness, not in present moment thought, but present moment awareness. Very important distinction. Very, very important distinction. Because when you get up, you have really slept very well. That means you have very few dreams or very weak dreams, or if you have practiced like yoga nidra and yoga shavasana like me, and then you can induce that kind of sleep right after you go to sleep, right? That means you just go in much faster. It requires a lot of understanding and practice, but anybody can do it, but they have to be rightly taught and rightly practiced. Okay, it takes a lot of time because we went the other way of allowing our minds to be wired in a wrong way for a long, long time. Not just our lifetime, it is the generations of humanity. So you can see how difficult that subconscious knowledge base, genetically based, right? That's all there. You cannot deny it. But what you can do is in this moment, do you allow the first one thought that is come, let's say that is a I thought, I am awake, I am here, and then that kind of. First, you will be aware of the circumstances, the type of whether it's day or night or raining or there or that kind of atmospheric awareness and all that. But then the moment the first thought comes, oh, raining, oh, I have to go to the work in this rain, and that first thought leads to the second thought, leads to the third thought, and the network forms. But the thing is so mercurial, electric, even before you open your eyes, the network of thought is up and alive and kicking and takes you along on the ride, right? And then we end up in that network of thought. I call it. That's a perfect name for that. What I recommend to people is don't get into that as long as possible. For 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, that's okay. Or few minutes. Try to stay in the present moment by opening the eyes, allowing all the sights come in without any judgment, without any talk, and listen to whatever music or whatever is blaring or whatever, or wind noise or nature noise and all that. It's better to be associated with the natural forces and just be with them without really allowing your thought to stimulate and get. It's a very, very, very difficult thing. I understand. I'm not saying this is very easy, but at least grasp the uh, concept about. It's not a concept, it's a fact. And then once you really help yourself to be in the present and be aware of that, carry that, carry that through the day. And what happens then is you go to a meeting, you participate, you take the data in, you use the data to allow the whatever is needed for the meeting, but try to be in the present moment at the end of the talk. Thereby, your awareness of the present moment at that time has purged all the data, all the unnecessary things. At least learned lessons are okay, you can keep it. But this is not that easy. So I don't expect anybody to get it or do it right away. But it all depends upon how some people are trained in NLP, some people are trained in other systems of Chinese origin, Buddhism, and so many even Muslims have a lot of prayers. 5 times they pray and they try to get rid of the mind. So many systems are there, but the mechanism is, if you take neuroscientifically, first thought, then series of thoughts, they behave to each other, and then they go that way, this way. Artificial intelligence is learning from those thoughts very quickly, so that the thoughts themselves become the learning material for them, and then they create much better. That's why they are so fast now, right? But that's all brain operation. But human beings, we have consciousness. I don't think AI systems would ever be aware and conscious. I mean, they are trying to be going as fast as the human brain is, but probably they will overcome that very quickly. But this subjective, experiential, first-hand experience, the qualia we call it, I don't think AI will have that, right? So that's very much clear. I asked Chat GPT one time about this, and they said, "Yeah, you are right. Subjectively, we don't feel that. We just churn the data, churn the programming that I was given, and so understand our human brain takes input from outside or from the memory in our own minds that is deep hidden there, right? And then from there it starts doing it. The problem is we never stop to do that, even though we have chances every time. So all you have to do is come to the present by how? Just focus on the breath. Feel the breath on your alanas, I would call it, the tip of the nose. The nails are there, right? Around the nails, that cartilaginous portion, that we call it alanasai. Just feel the air touching that alanasai, and we with that, then you will be able to stop whatever the meeting before it happened, whatever things happen. So you learn to do this at least 3, 4 times a day. Then you slowly go into it. Then finally, you will end up in that aware, like I am, present moment awareness, right? Then you can do all the language learning, you can do all the talking, you can do all, but then you are always aware of it, because he's not doing it after the end of all that. That is the struggle I had before. But now, stay in the present and do everything. It looks very simple, but it's not. Extremely, extremely difficult. So I understand that. Okay. So leave alone these subtle things. How do you handle your email? Instead of doing email as it comes, these people want you to get notified. So switch on the notifications. Don't do that. That's what I would suggest. Shut off that notifications thing. Okay, at least for all the unnecessary thing, right? And then once you shut it off, then you can choose the time when you want to open your email at one time, and that's what, with one stroke you would get a lot of information out, at least for the time. Suppose you check in the email just before you go to office, and then shut it off, and then go and do your job, whatever you have to do, and then afterwards take a break from the lunch, take a break after the lunch, okay, 10, 15 minutes and do the email. That's one way effectively. And also, what I do is I only want to read the email that I want to read. I don't want to read any of the solicitations, any of the people sending me so much offers or selling whatever. Right? So if I'm dealing with a coach, for example, I will only look for her, and I will just look what she has to say about our last conversation, or I may you use a chatbot to answer them. There are so many options now. So, but basically, get a control of your emails, get a control of your notifications, get a control of always checking the email, always checking the messages and all that. Suppose if you are waiting for something important, yeah, fine. And also create different channels, like a patient material info, something like asana is there, and then we want everything to be in there. So you can manage them provided you use the intention. I'm not going to be notified and then pulled from that all the time. This is the neurosis people are having. Neurosis means not in a bad way, but they don't have control of their own mind. That's why they have to take something to calm that down. Or what I'm saying is, I don't take any alcohol or any drugs that will interfere with my mind. Everything is fresh and pristine, right? Water I drink, that's all. But this drinking of all this information is also like that. So I don't want to sacrifice the capacity that we have. That this is my priority. I don't want to be overloaded with information. So you can control the incoming emails, notifications like that. Okay. And the other thing I do is before I go to bed, at least maybe sometimes even a couple of hours, I shut it off and I don't wake them up right after I get up. I give them as much time as possible. Sometimes, even during my yoga classes, I don't touch the phone at all. I don't allow anything to come through. Then what happens is your mind settles with a nice, calm routine because you are unwinding body and mind wise before you sleep, right? So you have shut it down before that, and that allows us much more go into your natural state of silence, right? And then when you get up in the morning, that is when the it is most vulnerable to get going with getting on the train of the network of thought. Don't get on the train, delay it, right? And then you try to be coming to the present moment. Once you are, that is the healthiest thing. The longer you can delay that onset of I thought, the healthier you are. There was a friend of mine, she was our CEO. She came from California. So we both ended up talking in the meetings otherwise, and she knew that I have been studying these kind of phenomena, you know. So she asked me, I have these 17, 18 meetings every day, Dr. Gulsu, and then I go home, I cannot shut my mind and I cannot sleep. So she wanted me to help her. I said, yeah, I will help you, but you have to do the work. So one of the recommendations I gave it is this. After you get up in the morning, don't allow the thoughts to rush in and delay them. The longer you can do, the healthier you will become. And that's the first exercise I gave her. Second exercise is before you go to bed, do this emptying of the mind and sleep on the emptying of the mind. Then the night what you went to the mind with, you will come back in the morning, but still you have a lot of memories accumulated, a lot of experiences. You think that's your wisdom. It's not. It's all a chatter of mind. What I don't care how important the information is, it is nothing but that. You can always access it. The crystal clear you are, the better you will recall, your memory would be. So use the memory like a bank. You have stored it, and then you're going to use it. And it's a very, very important, because probably many people have no idea what I'm talking about, and they go and talk me about me badly because they can't understand. But I am telling you, this is very, very subtle, very mercurial, electric. The thought, the way it functions, you allowed it to function like that, right? So you have to go back like a child, go back to your beginner's mind. That's all. Okay. But it takes a lot of time, because suppose you imagine some highways in the brain, and one thought going in that highway, and you allow the thought go to cyclically so many times that that highway gets hardwired. So getting out of the hardwired to something like a what you can manipulate, what you can malleable, is possible, but not that easy. It looks impossible, but it is done. It is shown, and I got inspiration from it. I practiced it, and I got it too. So there's no reason why you guys cannot get it. So, for all practical purposes, I'm like a normal human being like you are. I don't have any special gifts or all that. But only the thing is, study, understand, question, learn, and then not follow, but really question and learn. Okay, I allow my mind to question, go deeper and deeper and deeper. That's good. Okay, then whatever we learn is our property. Somebody may have said something, but I didn't accept it. I went about questioning that and learning about it, right? These kind of things will be very good. Okay. So control the information intake by being aware of what is important, what is not important. How can I do unimportant things not invade me, because the entire world is trying to get into your attention. That's what they want. They want your attention, but you don't want to give them unconscious attention where they have managed to put everything in your mind. It's like a dustbin. If you allow the dust, what happens? Right? So allow only what is important for you, then the all the waste will not kill. That's the problem. People are not aware of, oh, what if I can see this 10 times? What is, no, you go to hardwire your mind, and then once it is hardwired, it will run on its own. That's when you have to really teach them what is a good meditation. It's like this. Suppose you have hardwired and you learned meditation from me, for example. I may take you from the stage where you are and then lead you towards that heat that is generated by your exercises of meditation. And then you will be really dissolving the hardwired thought patterns. And those thought patterns, if you don't do anything, they will go on getting hard, solidified, and then you don't have any idea how to do that later. Okay, so this is a very, very difficult but important, and very much going to be in vogue as we go into more and more of this information age. So wisdom is understanding what is information, how much I should take in, how much immediately I should let it go, and how to use our plenty of information. That's why I'm in the business of what is good data, what is a bad data for patient care. So we have to look at the data and uh, really screen it for good or badness, and then allow only the good data to be there, and the reports come from that will be good. It's a huge task. I think one of the advantages I have is I can be in the present moment. Just to carry that, you know, practice that and see what happens with that. Okay. So I see some people are here on the Mumbai. Anybody has any question or anything that you want to add to this topic? You can come out and talk to us. I'll be happy. But basically, watch what you are putting in your mind, and be aware and be discriminative of that, and then actively get into this process where other people are trying to get your attention. People are paid millions of dollars to make you pay attention. How quickly you can get it, how simply you can get a text, telephone, or email, or all these systems that we have, right? So I made a living by learning how not to give any chance for these sources to come into my mind, right? So I come on the social media when I want to, and if I'm in the middle of a talk with somebody, if I want to contribute, I will come, but I won't stay there for the entire talk because I don't need to. Okay, so it is a question of having the self awareness. I don't even call it discipline, self awareness. Don't allow other people to. Okay, there's a talker here, Craig. Okay, let's see what he has to say. Hello, Craig.
Hello, Dr. Rao. How are you, sir?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I
Okay.
am brand new to Noom. I've been since Monday the 13th,
Ah,
and I dropped from 241 to 229 in about a week.
wonderful. We are talking about information overload, though, information intake today.
The information on I see a tip a day on Wellness Day.
Yeah. Today topic is information intake control. You see, we have a lot of information coming to demand our attention, right? So I'm kind of helping people to what I do with information, how I involve with a lot of information, but at the same time, I don't allow it to settle down in my brain. That's what I'm doing.
Well, so far, I realized that my intake has not been up to par. I have the last 2 days I did not get to my minimum intake. So today I really watched what I took,
Hmm.
and my lessons that I learned today were actually on protein. So I
Ah,
was able to
very good.
introduce some other kinds of protein into my diet
Yeah.
uh, to give me the extra calories.
Uh, yeah, that's good. You only take what the information usable to you, and rest of the information let it go. That's a very wise way to do it. Yeah, sure.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
It's, like I said, it's I got a long way to go, but
yeah.
I don't let if the scale doesn't go down that day, I look at something else.
Okay, okay. Yeah, it's a persistent behavior change, and I think you are doing very good. And keep on at it. Okay, any doubts or thing, come and ask us. No problem. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good thing. Like that, the weight of the physical body going down is what Craig is talking about. But we are talking about the weight of the information intake that we allow into our brain. How can we talk that? He needs to learn the new tricks about weight loss. That's a perfectly good information. That is a
Well,
discrimination. Yeah.
it's similar to what I do in my spare time, which I study
Yeah.
five different languages.
Okay.
Different languages. So
That's a very good to form the new brain. New brain formation. This is very good. Languages are usually people don't know them and they learn them, and then that really helps them to form the new cortex. Okay, there is a neuroplasticity we talk about. It's not about old information churning. That is the bad thing we're talking about, but it is allowing ourselves to something completely new to us. Like Craig is doing four languages. That's wonderful. Even one language is good enough because we are completely new to those languages, right? For example, you learn Sanskrit, you learn Chinese. They are two toughest languages, but then they are so good for our brain if you allow yourself like that. And I told my patients to have simple exercises like, suppose you go to a grocery shop or a convenience shop, whatever, and you go there and look at everything around there, what arranged them, then come out and close your eyes and try to recollect, what did I see, what was there. Then you can have association too. That's a good way to exercise. Many people who are on the verge of Alzheimer's, dementia, and all that, just to keep them sharp, not even create new brain, but these cognitive exercises that we gave, cross puzzle, new language, new musical instrument, anything that is new, that will open up your, light up your new dendrites, the connection. The neurons are the fundamental cell of the neural system, right? At the end of that, they have this hair-like thing, like a branches, dendrites we call it. When you have exposed yourself new, these two dendrites mix together, the message goes to the electrical thing happens. That's when the new brain happens. So you can see the people, at one time, 80s, many of the auto workers or assembly workers, they were not using that mind that much. But then when they went to home after retirement, they completely put their mind to rest. And that's why they become much more demented and then really succumb to that. So a very important thing to keep the mind sharp and new, young. And this kind of accumulation of information doesn't happen. But what you do with that information afterwards is very important. Okay, so this is going to be very relevant to everybody, because as we see more and more people becoming neurotic, automatic, and worried about no calmness in their mind. We are already seeing that. And then poor attention span of the kids, that has become a major problem even now. Kids, parents are very much worried about it. And all these people, they say, we're giving you free, Google and everybody else, but they don't want it free. They want our attention. See, when you are spiritual, when you are really oriented to something other than what is life here, people who are meditative, attentive, and they have this fear or regard for something bigger than themselves. But nowadays, that those things have gone. In any school of spirituality, meditation, calming the mind down, focusing the mind, attention of the mind, awareness of the mind. These are the important things, right? I value them the most than anything else, right? So, as a human being, if you don't have the awareness, what good, whatever you have. And keeping the mind healthy is very paramount, because if your mind is healthy, your general health also will be healthy. Okay, but there may be some instances where people have more propensity to produce some of the um, substances that cause dementia will be there. But even those people also, the epigenetics involved in that situation are altered by our lifestyles. One of the lifestyles is how much time you are allowing yourself to be influenced by back thoughts, cyclical thoughts. Okay, so you want to go to the forest, you want to go out and allow yourself to be with them rather than with all the problems. But these days, they only talk about, what can I do, what can I do, how can I do all day. But they don't take breaks, they don't take care of themselves that much. Okay, anybody else? There are 19 people there. I'm following all the people that are here. I have not seen them yet, so I thought if they have come to my room, that's the least courtesy I could do. I could just follow them. Uh, so we are continuing our wellness series, one tip a day on wellness. Today is day 29. Tomorrow will be exactly 50%. And then we will do 30 more talks on weekdays only. And if you have any suggestions, any questions about the clarity of what I'm talking about, please free to DM me and I'll be able to answer you back. Okay. And then we will see what is that I need to improvise or give you more explanation of that. Okay. Um, Thank you, and I'll be seeing you again tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye, Austin. Thanks for coming.